Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Sunday, the 29th of December 2024, the year of 1 million transactions per second or more. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, let's see what we got today. Somebody posted this in a chat group that I'm in. It sounds absolutely epic. So I'm just going to read that. I'm quite excited about that. Also got a post here from Kurt giving us an indication of when things are likely to happen. Palsky also said this, BSV is crushing it on all metrics, even in blockchain payments. BSV is #1. Loving that. A little bit of 365 days of Bitcoin history, some articles by Cointelegraph, Bitcoin Magazine, and then we'll go through the figures as per usual, because the newbies need to start learning what they really mean so they don't get swindled into shitcoining. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Teranode, you'll surely see.
Here we go, rock and roll. Right, haven't read all of this yet, so I'm just going to read it right now. Results. Look back on the roadmap videos for rolling out updates on BSV. They were not late. Teranode is the last remaining one, and that is being tested in the scaling testnet. What has been the end result for competence of rolling out updates? Yeah, Bitcoin script works. The software developer kits built on top of it work. Transactions are instant, cheap, and can scale. Look at Crypto Fights built on the Run SDK. It increased network throughput by upwards of 50%, and unlike CryptoKitties, it did not crash the network. And that is just the public beta. BSV dominance will come in 3 stages if it does come. First, enterprises that use it to reduce costs in their real-world products and services. Second, when the net transaction fees generated by these enterprises makes it more profitable for miners to mine BSV than other chains, that will result in a rippling effect in the entire blockchain market. Third, when the competition between miners, due to the higher transaction throughput, causes the Satoshi per byte rate to decrease, i.e. the more people that use the train cause the ticket prices to decrease. That will result in making uploading media files far cheaper than what they are now, i.e. less than 10 cents per megabyte. That will allow regular people to upload videos and other media. Perhaps a true YouTube competitor will emerge at that stage. This is more than just internet cash. Look at what is being built. It scales and has used that to not care about the current price in the exchanges. No, in 18 months Lightning will fix transaction costs. None of that nonsense. BSV already has more than half of all transaction throughput of all the Bitcoin protocol chains and has overtaken BTC for amount of data written on chain. When enterprises start creating traffic, people will start asking, why does BSV have 90% of all transaction throughput? Those are results where CSW is Satoshi or not, or whether CSW is Satoshi or not, wouldn't matter at that point. He would have delivered results just as brilliant in the exact same field. Yeah, what a fantastic article. What a fantastic article. Let's find that statement about YouTube. Yeah, there we go. That will allow regular people to upload videos and other media. Perhaps a true YouTube competitor will emerge at that stage. That would be huge. I mean, can you imagine actually just like uploading movies and all that, onto the Bitcoin network and literally, pay per download? Cheap as chips. Cheap as chips. Wouldn't have to go through all the usual distribution channels. Literally, BSV is a one-stop shop for literally everything you need to do. I think it was Donald Trump was going on about cutting out the middleman. Like, literally, you can do it all. BSV is, for want of a better word, that middleman, but it's not a man. BSV literally cuts out the middleman. BSV is the disruptor. It changes. It literally gives people the opportunity and the chance to do everything themselves. It can all be done on Bitcoin. Everything. Agents won't be needed. Brokers won't be needed. Like, everything can be done on Bitcoin. Distribution channels won't be censored or cut or anything like that. Literally everything can be done. All content producers can benefit from their global sale and distribution of their digital content. Like, amazing! It's can't wait. Love it. And we've got a reply here from Kurt to this post here from Peter Risen. He says, can we finally, in 2025, put to rest the false narrative that Satoshi's peer-to-peer electronic cash system can't scale? ? The unspent transaction output architecture scales perfectly fine with properly written software. Adding more hardware to a node leads to proportionate increase in throughput until hitting limitations imposed by physics well over 1 million transactions per second. Many of the claims in this thread below are false. And this guy calls himself Kevin Dengods. I guess he looks like, I mean, I'm not going to read it. I really can't be bothered with shitcoiners talking crap. But it looks to me like he's probably going on about second layers, I'm guessing, and all this crap. Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, like slots 1, 2, 3, and 4.
There, for example, is correct and slow proof of universal clock for.
Oh god, proof of history. No, we don't need proof of history. We need proof of work and all this crap. Yeah, he's talking shit. I'm not going to bother reading that. But yeah, Peter Risen. Wow. I mean, I wonder if he is Chief Scientist Bitcoin Unlimited. I know he plays some part in it, but I wonder if he's coming around to BSV, or because you're going to get a lot of these shitcoiners jumping ship. They'll be like, because they don't want to come across as being shit for brains. That's what it is. They don't want to be shitcoiners shit for brains. They're like, I saw this before it comes out. And in response to that, Kurt has said here, BSV will be capable of 1 million transactions per second on mainnet in the next couple of months. My company is in the final stage of testing our implementation of Teranode as others test theirs. We're about to prove Satoshi right once and for all. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's something that someone could say to me on Christmas Day and say, have a Merry Christmas. I'd be like, that's all I need. That's all I need. Or say that to me on a New Year's Day. Or say it to me on New Year's Eve. Like, yeah, come on. Beautiful. Love it. Palsky has said here, BSV is crushing it on all metrics. Even in blockchain patents, BSV is #1. So he said, here's the updated list, including both granted and filed pending blockchain patents. BSV #1 N-Chain 3,900 plus filed, 1,090 granted. Then they got the Alibaba Group, including subsidiaries, 2,588. Ping An Group, not actually heard of them. Advanced New Technologies, an Alibaba subsidiary. IBM, Tencent, Baidu, MasterCard, CoinPlug, and Group. So they're all getting in on the technology, but Craig invented it. Craig knows far more than all this lot. They're all playing catch up. And they're all going to have to catch up with Teranode. Well, you can't catch Teranode. You're going to have to jump on board. There's no other option. You're never going to catch Teranode. You're never going to catch the size of the chain ever. It's been going too long. Neutral organic growth, massive scaling. They're going to have to jump on board. And there is a fixed supply. Oh, yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on. Right, so 29th of December. So on the 29th of December 2011, eBay filed a US patent number US 20130173416A1 for, quote here, system and method for managing transactions in a digital marketplace. I think that actually made it into Bitcoin Magazine. Yeah, eBay files patent application for programmable money. Does it really? Programmable money. Obviously, I'm not going to go through that article there. Close that. But yeah, Google patents. Here we go. System and method for managing transactions in a digital marketplace. Surely that's going to have something to do with a blockchain. I'm guessing. And the 29th of December 2022 was when Bitfinex ceased trading of BSV. This was the very, very start of the delist BSV campaign. After they did this, it was then, I think it was Binance and Coinbase and Kraken and all the other shitcoin exchanges all jumped on top of this. Look at this. I remember seeing this. December 20th. Oh, it's December 20th. But it was December 29th when they actually delisted, I think. Yeah, there we go. So it said, in line with our commitment to delivering the best trading experience, we are delisting Celsius Network, Serum, Pangolin, Bank to the Future, Bridge Mutual, and a Bitcoin SV. Look at that. The Bitcoin SV is what they really wanted. They were just like chucking all these shit coins in with it as well, trying to cover it up. The decision has been made as a result of our continued monitoring of all listed projects and review of their listing qualifications. Deposits for Cell, SRM, Ping, Bank to the Future, BMI, and BSV are now closed as of the 20th of December at 2 p.m. UTC. Trading for those tokens will cease on the 29th of the 12th. So yeah, there we go. So trading ceased on the 29th. It says withdrawals for those tokens will remain open until the 14th of February 2023. But again, I know people that couldn't actually get their coins off, especially not the BSV. They're like, no, we're taking that. You're going to have to switch it for a shitcoin, take the value off, and then buy BSV elsewhere. But these were the first people to start this delisting BS, which is where the cabal got the supplies of BSV from, which is how they've been able to artificially suppress the price for the last 5 years, but they're, as CSW said, they're running out of them and the supply is fixed. Beautiful. So I was just checking out here on a bit of Bitcoin history. This is on a Bitcoin talk forum. There was a post here from Satoshi on December the 18th, and then there wasn't any until January 5th, 2010. The complete Satoshi emails as well. There wasn't anything. We'll look at December. So December 10th. So there was nothing from December 10th to January 11th. And that was December 10th, 2008. So there weren't too many people. Well, I guess they were going away thinking about it, really. But really hardly any people involved in the project then, because the network hadn't even started. Too many people asking questions. I mean, amazing the amount of self-control the CSW had to literally just hold off and not start the network until January 3rd, 2009. If that was me, I would have been chomping at the bit. Just get this baby started. But he knew what he had to do. The amount of self-control was just absolutely sensational. Right, let's have a look at this one. Cointelegraph says, Bitcoin, I get more shit coining here. Bitcoin, that's great coin, may reach 150k. Bullshit. Well, who knows? Pumping tether and all that. Or 400k in 2025 based on SBR and Fed rates blockware. And again, it's like saying gold is affected by Fed rates and blah, 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 blah. It's not. Bitcoin is completely independent. It's supply and demand, and that is it. This is just all bump. Yeah, they're trying to just confuse newbies and say, oh, yeah, based on this, Bitcoin could go up. Yeah, that's right. Hold on. Just buy. Ponzi. That's what it's all about. Gradecoin's potential price range in 2025 is quite significant, but it bears down to three major factors. Bullshit. According to the crypto mining firm Blockware. Gradecoin's price in 2025 could rise up to 4 times, or at worst increase by 58%. At worst, it could go down to 0. Depending on Donald Trump's strategic Gradecoin reserve plan and the Federal Reserve policies, says crypto mining firm Blockware Solutions. The 2025 bear case for Gradecoin could push its price up to around 58%, reaching $150,000 from its current price of $94,981, Blockware said on a December 28th market forecast report viewed by Cointelegraph. Right, well, I'm not going to read the rest of that shitcoining article. Makes my eyes bleed. And let's see what Bitcoin Magazine says here. This sounds quite interesting. Michael Saylor doesn't understand Bitcoin. Saylor is convinced that Bitcoin is capital, not currency, and would like to see the whole world adopt the US dollar as money instead. What? That's wrong. So, alright. On a recent episode of Galaxy Brains podcast, Michael Saylor made the case that Bitcoin isn't a currency. Well, it's because it's money. And it's best to think of it as a capital and capital only. He also shared that Tether USDT and Circle's USDC are the real digital currencies and unveiled his evil genius strategy, his own words, to get the world to adopt a US dollar stablecoins as opposed to Bitcoin. Oh, Saylor, more shitcoining. In this take, I'll cite some of Saylor's own words from the podcast before breaking down why many of the points made are off base. Capital, not currency. Quote here, "It's not currency, it's capital." Well, actually, it's a commodity, really, said Saylor about halfway through the episode. "You just have to come to grips with it. It's not digital currency, it's not cryptocurrency, it's a digital capital. It's crypto capital," he added. Well, actually not, it's digital commodity. For the first time ever, commoditizes data. I searched the Bitcoin white paper to see how many times the word capital showed up. It isn't mentioned once. Well, it's because it's not really capital. Because it's money. It's cash, the most liquid form of money. However, in both the title and abstract of the text, Bitcoin is referred to as electronic cash. While cash can, of course, also be capital, not really. It's not only capital. To think of Bitcoin only as capital is to deny certain of its most essential properties, like the ability to use it to transact with anyone, anywhere in the world permissionlessly, apart from poor people, obviously. To deny Bitcoin as a currency is to deny a large part of its value proposition, a huge part of its value proposition, actually. Bitcoin's role as a store of value and a medium of exchange are inextricably linked. For more on this, I'd advise you, and Michael Saylor, to read Breeze CEO Roy Shinfield's piece, "A Bitcoin False Dichotomy Between Store of Value and Medium of Exchange." That sounds absolutely bollocks. Anyway. As the episode proceeded, Saylor continued to poorly make the case for why Bitcoin is capital and not currency. There are a lot of maxis who are like, "No, we want it to be currency." That would be Roger Ver and co. "We want to be able to pay for coffee with our Bitcoins. Pay me in Bitcoin," he said. "It's like pay me in gold, pay me in a building, pay me with a slice of your professional sports team, pay me with a Picasso." Well, yeah, you're transferring value. It's actually not like that at all. Well, actually, it is actually more like that, to be honest. Sure, Bitcoin is scarce, somewhat like gold. Manhattan real estate supports teams for famous paintings, but it has a number of other properties that make it far different from any of these other assets. To illustrate a dimension of that point, I'll cite my colleague Alex Bergeron. And then Saylor cited, wait for it, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's take on Bitcoin in efforts to drive home his point that Bitcoin is capital, not currency. Quote here, "The reason Bitcoin rallied past $100,000 is because Jerome Powell on a stage said to the world that Bitcoin doesn't compete with a dollar, it competes with gold," he said. Now, it rallied past $100,000 because Tether was pumping the shit out of it. That is it. There is no magic in that whatsoever. No demand either. It does nothing. Oddly enough, Saylor said this without acknowledging that the man who said this is the head of the institution that Bitcoin should theoretically replace, USDT, not BTC. In the interview, Saylor also drove home the point that the real digital currencies are US dollar stablecoins. He's part of the cabal then. The cryptocurrency, the digital currency, is Tether. That's why you see Samson Mao and Jameson Lott wearing Tether t-shirts, because they know that that's basically what drives the BTC Ponzi. And Circle, he said, it's a stable coin, a US dollar, that's the digital currency. Yeah, that's pumping the shit out of BTC. This is when I started to get nauseous. For those who don't yet know this, Grapecoin came into the world in the wake of the Great Financial Crisis of 2008, when the US government, in conjunction with the US Federal Reserve, opted to print US dollars en masse. You think they printed US dollars en masse in 2008 and compared to COVID? We saw the little blip, you can't even hardly even see it. Debased the currency to bail out failing banks, the burden of which was laid both on the US taxpayers and US dollar holders worldwide. Let's just remind ourselves of that. Got it here somewhere. I know I've got it here somewhere. I used to look at it on a regular basis. There we go. Right then. So he has just said, for those who don't know this, Bitcoin came into the world into the world in the wake of the great financial crisis of 2008, when the US government, in conjunction with the US Federal Reserve, opted to print US dollars en masse, debase the currency to bail out failing banks, and the burden of which was laid both on the US taxpayers and US dollar holders worldwide. Right, so let's have a look at 2008. Oh, there it is, 2008. That little blip right there. You'd need a magnifying glass to see it. Look at that. Debasing the currency, printing dollars en masse. What the hell is this? Look at that. Look, that's the financial crisis, that little blip. Printing US dollars en masse. Oh, bailing out the banks and all that. Whoa, my. I mean, it just goes to show you what this is. You know, this is economic Armageddon. You know, if you want to wipe out a proportion of the world's population, this is how many dollars you'd need to print to do it. Good grief. Good grief. Bitcoin is a decentralized money. Well, it's a digital commodity, really, that was created as an alternative to the US dollar and all other fiat currencies. Trying to convince people that Bitcoin is not this is disingenuous at best, deeply manipulative at worst. That's hypocritical. But this isn't even the worst of what Saylor had to say on the episode. He went on to propose that the banks that got bailed out in the 2008 financial crisis issue their own stable coins, which would help prop up the US debt market. They ought to just create a normal regime to issue digital currency backed by US treasuries, said Saylor. The US ought to have a framework so Tether relocates to New York City. That's what you want, right? And then you ought to basically have a free-for-all when JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs can issue their own stable coins, he added. No, Michael Saylor, that's not what I want. In fact, it's very far from what I want. Yeah, because he doesn't want anybody to use anything, just wants people to use a good old US dollar. I don't want Tether anywhere near New York City, my hometown. Clearly a lefty then. And I don't want JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs issuing US dollar stablecoins that they control, essentially the equivalent of CBDCs. When I think about Goldman Sachs, the first thing that comes to mind is the award-winning writer Matt Taibbi's description of the institution for his New York Times bestseller, Griftopia. The first thing you need to know about Goldman Sachs is that it's everywhere, began Taibbi in the book. The world's most powerful investment bank is a great vampire squid wrapped around the faces of humanity, relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into everything that sells, everything that smells like money. Yeah, I get it. You know, blah blah blah. Yeah, 22 minutes gone already. I'm not going to read all of that, but I get it. Goldman Sachs, much like the US Federal Reserve, is an institution that sucks the life force from humanity. Bitcoin was designed to take that power away from such institutions, not strengthen them. Well, what? By making it unusable? Dickhead. Towards the end of the episode, Saylor laid out his master plan for Bitcoin and US dollar stablecoins. Here it is. Everybody outside the US would give their left arm to be capitalized on US bonds. So my strategy would be, and I really think it's an evil genius strategy, it's so good our enemy would hate us, but our allies would complain too, and the US would make $100 trillion in a heartbeat. Just that, yeah, magic money. Here's the strategy. Well, they've already made over $100 trillion, you know, in COVID. So if you can do it in COVID, you can do it whenever you want. Here's the strategy. You dump gold, demonetize the entire gold market network. You buy Bitcoin, 5 million or 6 million Bitcoin. I don't think you'd be able to, actually. And you monetize the Bitcoin network, all the capital in the world sitting in Siberian real estate or Chinese natural gas or every other currency derivative that's held as long-term store of value. Europeans, Africans, South Africans, Asians, they all just dump their crappy property and their crappy capital assets, and they buy Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin goes to the moon, yeah, and comes crashing back down again. The US is the big beneficiary. US companies are the big beneficiary, and while you're doing that, you normalize this and support a digital currency, and you just define a digital currency as US dollar backed by US dollar. Equivalents in the regulated US custodian that's audited. What happens next? $150 billion of stable coins goes to $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $4 trillion, $8 trillion. That's massive inflation. Probably somewhere between $8 and $16 trillion, and you create $10 to $20 trillion of demand for US sovereign debt. What a shit plan. While you're taking while you're taking away a little bit of the demand because the capital asset of Bitcoin grows, you're adding back the demand to back the stable coin, the digital US dollar then. Replace the CNY something New York, and the ruble, maybe Chinese yen, and the ruble. It replaces every African currency. It replaces even every South American currency. It replaces the euro. Oh, so he's going for a one world currency here. Yeah. If you really believe in the US world reserve currency and US values, every single currency in the world will actually just merge into the US dollar if it was freely available. At this point, I stopped listening to the episode and projectile vomited all over the New York City subway car in which I was sitting. I didn't come into the Bitcoin space to help the US run a scheme in which it acquires a large percentage of Bitcoin while hooking the world on its trash currency. And it deeply saddens me that someone that many in the Bitcoin space look up to will come up with such a conniving plan. Bitcoin is money. It's a type of money that cannot be censored or debased. Well, apart from if you segregate the digital signatures from the transaction data and make it economically worthless. Han has spectacularly grown in value over the past decade, making it one of, if not the most powerful tool ever created for individuals. To think of it as anything less, or to try to convince people that a new iteration of an incumbent version of money is better than it, is to be deeply misinformed. While Bitcoin is capital, that's not all it is, and please don't let Michael Saylor or anyone else convince you otherwise. Oh my, can you imagine him when he realizes what they've done to BTC to turn it into a shitcoin? You know, unless he's part of it, you know, which I suspect he probably is, but you know, he seems like I think he's, yeah, who knows? They're all shysters, these shitcoiners. So have a quick look at these figures then. They've got Bitcoin $54. Remember, hash rate and network nodes are vanity. Transactions and block size are sanity. Let's have a look at the hash. Let's have a look at the difficulty adjustment on BTC. The highest it's ever been yet again. Look at that. Crazy. Let's look at hash rate on Bitcoin. Yeah, just steady away there. Nice. Let's have a look at transactions. So 98.61 on all the forks. 90.4 on the entire shitcoin market, with 23,600,000 representing 90% of the overall market, only leaving 10% for the 39,000 shitcoins on the market left. Cross-reference that with what's on chain, 23 million. Yep, alright. Good stuff. Let's have a look at the block sizes coming through. Here we go, rock and roll. Oh, got 108. Oh, was that the biggest one? But they're still not too bad. 52, 41, 53. Yeah. 83, 87. It's alright, you know, when you consider how shit all these other chains are. I mean, it's absolutely romping away still. 58,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 15% comparable loss. Oh, it's actually 16% more profitable to mine on eCash. I wonder who's managing. I wonder if somebody managing the hash rate might be asleep at the wheel on that. So if it's more profitable to mine eCash, they need to take some hash rate off it to drop it down again. So we'll see where other miners is on that. Still sub-cent fees, beautiful. Right, let's have a look at these pie charts. Look at this. Gregcoin Foundry USA pool 36.1, other miners 1.39. B Crash minus 43.7. Oh. Other mining pools drastically reduced their hash rate on that one, back down to 19.44. And it's still 16% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cash. Let's compare this. Let's have a look at Bitcoin now. Whoa, what is this? What is this? What is going on here? Surely you would see a change in the hash rate. Got QD Link up to their hash rate to 34.9, Kuv 31.4, Tau 27.27, Gorilla Pool 5.5. What? QD Link? What? They're normally in the sort of 20s. Now they're in 34, leading the charge. You'd think you'd see an increase in the hash rate. Interesting. Crypto Quant, yep, look, the exchanges are still cashing out. Look, the exchanges reserves. They're not holding it. They don't want that shit. When the music stops, they know what's going to happen. They know what's coming. Tether, weather, what's going on here? plodding along sideways there. Down on the week. Down from 139.7 to 138.7. So down $1 billion in a week. Interesting. That's why BTC is nosediving at the moment. Let's have a look at longs, just going down a little bit, but 0.7%. Oh, don't think I've ever seen it that high. 0.7%. It's usually around sort of sometimes 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 points. It's almost like 0.8. Interesting. Keep an eye on that metric. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin price then. That's just headed down to $53. See the full chart. So it's up from the 20th. Yep, just trending along sideways there. Down at the moment. Let's compare this to a Greg coin. Oh, shame. Just down over December on from Greg coin. Never mind. Let's have a look at Orange Gateway. We'll have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. See what this looks like. Trending along sideways. Let's have a look at this versus Greg coin. Yeah, I'm just down a bit over festive periods. Currently a market cap of $3.29 trillion. Greg coin's value $94,000. Trade volume is 1.1, representing 21 billion. I mean, yeah, the 140 that we saw the other day would absolutely crush that. Absolutely crush it. Whoa! So what's happened there? Whoa! Traders aren't going to be liking that one. The news in that Tether's no longer pumping all of a sudden. Oof, good grief, wasn't expecting that. Let's have a look at the rest of the market. Where is Bitcoin number 89? It's just had a downward movement as well. Let's have a look at trade. Zedixion. Whoa, volume. That is huge. Coin DCX. I think what HTX. Okay, look at that. I've never even seen Zedixion. In fact, you know what? I might actually have a look at that now. Zedixion Exchange. All right. There we go. What's this? Classic. Looks like a lot of the others that I've seen in terms of layout. Let's have a look. Oh. Well, so they reckon they've got, that's almost 50% of the trade volume on their exchange. Is it a derivatives exchange though? Because it's liquidity that you really need. What's this? Buy crypto. Three steps to quickly buy cryptocurrency. How can we pay? Moon Pay. Interesting. Let's have a look at exchange liquidity. Oh, it still looks like it's got quite a bit of liquidity there. Saying that it's Changely Pro that's got most of it. Hit BTC, OKX. Something's happening with Zedixion though. Interesting. Right. Anyway, that is a 35-minute show. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Simbi.com, handcash.io, simply.cash, relays.com, rockwallet.me or senti.ch. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.